All right. Hello, hello, hello. I'm super excited to have you all here today. Happy New Year for those of you who are watching currently. And then I hope for those of you who will watch after this live, you'll learn something really great for your career this year. Today, actually, we're going to be going through Culture Company, and we're being led by Mrs. Ballard. And so I'll give her a beautiful introduction because Katrina Ballard is a leadership consultant, executive coach, and founder of Happy Teams, where she helps leaders of scaling companies build teams who follow them anywhere. With a background in educational psychology and over a decade in higher education, she brings a research grounded, people first lens to leadership development. Now, get this, Katrina is also the president elect of the American Marketing Association Houston chapter and a vocal advocate in integrating AI into business strategy, while fiercely believing that human connection is a new luxury in an automated world. She's on a mission to help leaders show up with more intention because the weight of being a great human has never mattered more than it does in today's world. Ms. Ballard, we are super excited to have you. How are you today?
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me and extending this invitation.
Yes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the presentation to stage and I'm going to step away, beautiful people. So I'm going to be in the background, but you have her and get a pen and paper because it's going to be good.
Okay, just let me know. Ready to roll?
Yes. So I'm going to move back on stage.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome everyone. And thank you so much for just giving me a bit of your time today. I know that time is of the essence in all the things. And so I'm thrilled to be with you and just to be sharing a little bit about how we can work in leveling up and positioning ourselves for growth in our marketing career. Isaiah gave me a really awesome intro. And so I don't have any more notes to add on that. So we're just going to jump right in, and I hope that's okay with you. So we're going to start with a bit of an uncomfortable truth, which is that most career advice assumes that you're starting from zero, but you're not. We don't have to go all the way back to the very beginning about how to write a resume or anything like that for you to affect your career journey. You're starting from where you are today, and that includes several different factors like your history, your habits, and the patterns that got you where you are today. And so in the Happy Teams world, the real question isn't what's my 5-year plan? It's more what patterns am I running on autopilot and are they still serving me? How are they still serving me? So today we're going to challenge some defaults. We're going to clarify what success is going to look like for you specifically as an individual and give you those tools to think more clearly. So we're going to cover 4 main pillars today. The first is going to be culture clarity, and that's less about the culture that that's less about a company culture and more about how you fit into the environment that you're in right now and if it's serving you or if it's not. The second pillar we're going to talk about is discovery over default, and that's replacing autopilot career moves with moving with intention, actively seeking out what is the best fit for you, your strengths and your personality, and then how to kind of take advantage of those opportunities as they come. Our third pillar is going to be intentional positioning, and that is really all about leading before you have the title of leading. Positioning and showing yourself, presenting yourself as a leader before somebody says, hey, we're going to put this title of leader with this person. And then our fourth pillar we're going to talk about is AI as a thinking partner. And these are just prompts for self-discovery and clarity. All of these prompts you can copy and paste, and I have a toolkit, a bonus toolkit for you as promised at the end of our presentation. So we're going to just dive right in. So the first pillar we're going to talk about is culture clarity. And that's just in understanding the environment you're in. And if or if not, that's the one where you will truly thrive. Sometimes the environment you're in is one that's conducive to you thriving, and that's fantastic. I think that's great insight and great knowledge to have. Sometimes it's not. And if you're in a culture where it's not a great opportunity for you to thrive, then we can kind of use the takeaways from today's presentation to help give you tools to understand what's working, what's not, and how you can fix it. So you can't navigate what you can't name, right? You can't fix what you don't know. You can't change what you don't know. So most of us accept the culture we're in as that's just how things work. A company's culture is not neutral, and it shapes what's possible for you. Some companies will say, we don't have a culture, and Happy Teams believes that is completely not true. Every company, every organization has a culture, and whether we intend to or not, we are contributing to that culture, sometimes positively, sometimes neutrally. It's hard to know exactly, but there is a culture, whatever organization you're in where you're working with other people, there is a culture, whether it's named or not. And we can own our part in contributing to that. And so there's certain culture dimensions that I want you to take note of in the organization or company that you're in right now, among the team you're on right now. How is feedback given? Is it direct or is it indirect? And you just kind of learn things randomly from side remarks or off the cuff emails or things like that. How is feedback given? Is it clear? Is it direct? How are decisions made? Are they top down or are they a consensus? Are you just told what the decision will be, or are you invited into the decision-making process? Are you asked your opinion? And what gets rewarded? Is it results, or is it just looking like you have results? Those two things are very different. And also the fourth culture dimension to notice is how is his growth supported? Is it a formal process? Are you clear about how you can grow within the company? Are you clear about, hey, these are the strengths that we see in you and the opportunities that you can use those to facilitate growth for yourself? Or is it kind of a figure it out situation where you just are left to say, hey, hopefully an opportunity comes up, and if it does, maybe we'll select you, maybe we won't. And so you can imagine that all four of those characteristics do contribute to a culture, some better than others. And so if you have answers to that, or if answers come up as you are considering those questions, that's a really good indicator of the type of culture that you're in. And so the shift of that is to move with intention instead of reaction. I think when you're in certain situations, it's easier to just kind of go with the flow and not rock the boat and see what you can do to survive, which I think is absolutely appropriate at certain times. But also if you want more, or you're looking for more, you want to craft a career path for yourself, then you also want to look at the opportunities that may feel unseen or maybe around you, regardless of the type of culture that you're in. So 2 important questions to ask yourself to reflect on is, what is the unwritten rule book in my current environment? And does this rule book work for me, or am I changing myself to fit into it? And so I think that can just give you a lot of clarity about the situation you're in, and if it's somewhere where you want to stay long-term and grow, or if it's an opportunity for you to consider exploring other options. Clarity really allows you to objectively understand where you are and what needs to change for how you architect your next steps. And so getting that clarity is really important. So we're at our first AI prompt, which again, Isaiah said, I am an AI junkie. I love AI and I feel really critical about it. Like, I can be critical about it sometimes, and I'm very clear-eyed about its benefits and harms. But this prompt is designed for you to literally copy and paste, plug into your favorite large language model. That can be ChatGPT, that could be Claude, that could be Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot, any of those, it works just fine. And you don't have to write this down. Don't feel like you have to grab pen and paper, but you can just take a picture of the screen with your phone, and you should be able to simply copy and paste, like press down on the prompt text in your picture, copy and paste that, or copy it, paste it, and plug it into whatever large language model you choose. This works because this prompt is going to act as a mirror for you. And so a lot of times I think we, as humans, we just kind of move through life like we're not always stopping to take really evaluation or consider what, how our surroundings are impacting us, how we're impacting our surroundings. It's very normal to just do the next thing, right? Just keep your head down and focus on getting through whatever it is you need to get through. And I think taking the time to stop and evaluate, how is this affecting me? How am I affecting the culture? How am I contributing? And just to get a clearer picture, AI is a really, really great tool to do that. And so this prompt is designed to help you to have insights about your current position and where you are in the culture you're in. and give you answers to questions that you may not think to ask yourself on an everyday basis. And so what you're going to get from the prompt is just language to describe what you're experiencing. It should give you a lot of clarity. It should give you a lot of insights based on how you answer the questions in the prompt. Okay, so the pro tip is to be honest. AI is not there to judge you, and honesty will really give you better insights. Another thing that is I'm a huge fan of is make a voice note of yourself. So you can take this prompt, copy and paste it, plug it into your large language model, and then it'll ask you, it will populate questions based on the prompt. And then you can actually do a voice note on your phone and talk like you would talk to your best friend. Be like, I don't know, this is how I feel. This is what I think about this. And you could say, it makes me mad. It makes me happy. I appreciate this. I don't appreciate that. But if you just kind of verbally process it out, record that, and you pull the transcript from the voice note, pull the transcript, plug it in, and AI does a fantastic job of synthesizing all of the thoughts that we have into really actionable information. So that's a really just hopefully good feedback for you for how to use this prompt and the other prompts that you'll have moving forward. But yeah, just be super honest, be open with AI, and it will synthesize down your thoughts for you to give you really actionable feedback. So, okay. So our next pillar is going to be discovery over default, and we are going to be replacing autopilot career moves with personalized exploration that is driven by discovering your strengths. So the issue with being on autopilot is in the default is what's the next, you ask questions like, what's the next logical step? What's the next logical step? What does everybody else do? Or what will look good on my resume? And that, I think, is to keep you, those are safety questions, which I think, again, in the right time and place, they are important and they have a ton of value. I don't ever want to disregard that. But to grow and to move and to take big chances on yourself and to craft a career path that is really valuable to you, sometimes it's important to move out of default mode and into discovery mode, where you ask more intentional questions like, what actually energizes me? What just lights me up? What kind of work just lights me up? What am I uniquely good at? What is it that I bring to the table that no one else can do as well as I can? And what would I regret not trying? I also want to acknowledge that sometimes asking these questions is a luxury. And so you keep your default mode, right? Because it's safe and it provides for you. And you use your extra time and your margin and your bandwidth to ask discovery modes. And in the meantime, you can do them both. You can keep the position and the opportunity that is providing you stability and just giving you great experience, and you add in discovery mode so you can continue to craft them and then eventually build something and land an opportunity that allows you to do more of what you dream of doing. And so default careers happen to you. It's just kind of like, I've been at this place, they promoted me, the work's not bad, it's reliable, and I think that's fine. But discovered careers are built by you. And so the reframe is career planning isn't about predicting the future, but it is about building self-awareness for when those opportunities appear, and you are best equipped to take the leap and jump when the time is right and the opportunity presents itself. So we're at AI prompt number 2, and same concept here. You can just take a quick picture of this on your phone. But the prompt is, I want to identify my core strengths. So ask me about times when work felt effortless, tasks people consistently ask me to help with, problems I naturally noticed before others, moments when I felt most proud. Help me find patterns and name 3 to 5 distinct strengths. Ask clarifying questions. The point about ask clarifying questions, you're going to see that in every prompt that I deliver from Happy Teams. And the reason for that is it takes the AI tool out of just answering your question. I don't know if you're familiar with AI, but it'll say, you're right about that. It's like, I said the sky is green, and they're like, you're right. No. So you want to allow AI to become, you want to equip it to become your thought partner. And when you say ask clarifying questions, you're inviting it to learn about you more. And so you can give it, when it asks you questions, then you have better context for the goal. They better understand the goal that you're working towards. So you always want to say, ask clarifying questions at the end of an AI prompt, because that will allow you to, it just transitions it out of just an AI tool that you use into a true thought partner that can be really useful. And so the insight there is that your real strengths are often invisible to you. We think, oh, I just do this because it's easy and I like it. That is very highly likely that that is one of your strengths and you are amazing at it, and not everybody can do the thing that you are good at. And so they feel easy because you assume everybody can do the things that you do so well, that come so naturally to you. And so how to use this is once you name your strengths, look for roles where those strengths are valued and not just tolerated. And so what you can do, just a really great planning session and discovery session for you, is to take this prompt, plug it into the large language model, tell it to ask you clarifying questions. You answer those questions as thoroughly as you can. It doesn't have to be clean. It doesn't have to be perfect. What matters most is thoroughness and honesty. And then once it gives you results, your follow-up question can be, given these strengths that I have, what types of marketing roles would be a natural fit for me? You may discover something new. That would be really exciting. Okay, so on to pillar number 3, which is intentional positioning. It's really important to show up as a leader before you have the title, because how you carry yourself shapes the opportunities that find you. And so, natural law of attraction kind of situation here. But leadership does consist of how you show up with or without the title. And people around you in your community, in your network, at work, in your company culture, they notice how you handle pressure, how you treat colleagues, how you respond to setbacks long before they notice your job title. And so if you're showing up as a leader in these areas, then they're going to experience you as a leader long before they say, hey, we're going to give you the salary and the title and all of that. So the micro moments that signal leadership in your day in and day out life can be in meetings. Do you build on other people's ideas? Do you speak up when things are unclear? And do you stay engaged? In conflict, do you address issues directly? Do you not go to someone else to say, oh, I have to tell you about this person? That's natural, right? It's very human of us to do that. But as a leader, I think the better path would be, how do I address this with the person in a way that really is committed to facilitating growth and repair for us both? Do you assume good intent from people? As they earn good intent, you can assume it. Sometimes people don't earn that, and we can proceed with caution to protect ourselves. But if somebody has shown you that they have good intent and they do something that's harmful or say something or there's an issue, then you can address that in a way that hopefully gives them the benefit of the doubt and truly has a focus on repairing and fixing the situation versus not. And do you focus on solutions? How do you focus on finding a solution that really benefits your relationship, your larger culture relationship, and the success of the company? And in setbacks, do you own your mistakes? Do you ask for feedback to say, hey, this didn't go the way that I thought it would. I would really love to get your perspective on how I can do better. What can I do differently next time? And do you bounce forward? Do you give yourself permission to bounce back? Take it as a learning opportunity. Don't beat yourself up, and continue to move forward. And then also, how are you showing up as a leader with your peers? Do you share credit? Do you give credit where credit is due? Do you help without being asked? And do you look for opportunities to help? And do you do the work to make others feel seen as well? So opportunities tend to find people who already act like they belong in bigger rooms. And so the more you start acting like you belong in bigger rooms, the likelihood is higher that those opportunities are going to start coming to you. Okay, I prompt number 3 is the leadership presence audit. And I love this one. So this allows you to get honest feedback about how you're currently showing up and where you have room to grow. And so the prompt is, I want to audit how I show up at work. Ask me about how I behave in meetings, handle disagreements, respond when things go wrong, and interact with my peers and leaders. Help me identify 1 to 2 areas where I'm leading well and 1 to 2 where I could grow. Be direct but constructive and ask clarifying questions. I often tell AI, tell me the truth, but don't be mean. And it's rarely mean, but still, I'm like, I'm not going to have you hurt my feelings today because you are a robot. But anyway, so ask clarifying questions, tell it to be direct, but also give you actionable feedback that's not just hurting your feelings, because that's annoying and serves no purpose. So what this prompt will reveal is that the gap between how you think you show up and how you actually show up. And then what to do next is you can just pick one growth area. You can ask AI to help you create specific practices to work on that growth area. And you don't need to be perfect. The point is to be intentional and also to better understand how you naturally show up and what you can do to capitalize on that. How can you improve it? How can you make it better? So that's the leadership presence audit, and hopefully it just gives you really great insight about where you're already leading, and then you can develop and nurture and grow those attributes even more. So from presence to positioning, how you show up builds trust, and how you name your value creates opportunity. This is so important because I think, again, it's easy to see the strengths in others and maybe sometimes harder to see it in ourselves. And so this just gives you really great opportunities to name, to show up intentionally and in your internal presence, and also how you position yourself externally to put yourself in the right situations, to have your name be brought up in the right conversations where people can say, hey, I know this person, they're really great at these specific things. You should consider them for these opportunities. So your internal presence is how you behave in meetings, how you handle conflict, and how you own your work. And then that combined with your external positioning is how you describe your value, how you show up on LinkedIn, which, hey, LinkedIn is hard for me sometimes. So if it's a struggle for you, you're not alone. And the story that you tell in interviews. And so your internal presence builds reputation with the people that know you. So then your external positioning can help to create opportunities with people that don't know you. And both matter. You want to start with presence because it's authentic, and let positioning follow. Okay. AI prompt number 4. To that point of internal positioning and external positioning is to craft language that communicates your unique value for use in interviews, LinkedIn, or just conversations that we're networking. And this is, I want to articulate my professional value clearly. Ask me about the problems I solve, the results I've achieved, how my approach differs from others, and what people come to me for. Help me to create 2 to 3 statements that communicate my unique value without sounding generic. And again, ask clarifying questions. Always ask clarifying questions. And this matters because when you're in a marketing networking situation and you say, I'm a brand manager, they're like, great. But if you say, I help brands tell stories that convert skeptics, that's like, oh, okay, well, wait, tell me more about that. What does that mean? What does that look like for you? And so you're naturally just facilitating interest and curiosity about who you are and what you do. And so this is great to be used in LinkedIn, those tell me about yourself conversations, in networking, performance reviews, those types of situations where it's an opportunity for you to advocate for yourself. And the goal is to help the right people understand why you're the right fit, so the right opportunities find you. We are our own best advocates, and this helps to equip you to be even better at that. Okay, last pillar is AI as a thinking partner. And so this is how to use AI prompts to accelerate your self-discovery, pressure test options, and plan and think more clearly. So again, we've talked about this a bunch. You've heard this several times today, but the secret is to ask clarifying questions. AI really is not magic. It is trained on unimaginable amounts of data, and it's a mirror that asks questions that we may not think to ask and synthesizes insights that we may overlook. That has been one of my most favorite uses of AI, is to synthesize insights that I am not seeing. Tell me what I'm missing. I ask AI that a lot. What am I missing? What am I not seeing? So how to get the most from your conversations with AI and to just give you the most value. That's the most important thing, is to use it well so that you get the most value that you can out of it. So again, ask clarifying questions is always going to be the first thing. It turns AI from an answer, just something that gives you answers, into a coach. And you can also say, act as a thought partner. You introduce your idea with act as a thought partner, and then you give your prompt and you say, ask clarifying questions. And then that way you can kind of see it transitioning into something that's working alongside of you and kind of equipping you to improve yourself. You want to be honest, not polished. I used to think when I started working with AI a couple of years ago, I used to think like, eventually, surely I'm going to reach the end of what it can do. And honestly, the end has only I've gotten further away from reaching the maximum capacity of what AI can do. So that just, I hope that takes the pressure off of you to feel like you can just be honest. You don't have to be polished. You don't have to be short. You can be however you are, and it will train itself and learn on the responses that it gets from you. So AI is not going to judge you, but it will give you deep insights if you're honest. Again, my favorite practice, I'm going to tell you one thing, an app to get that's really good is called Granola. It's free. It's kind of like green with a G on it, and you can get it on your phone. And it creates transcripts for you. So you literally just hit record, you voice note all the things you want to say. And I think of the 3 dots at the top, you just hit pull transcript and you do that. And then you can just copy the transcript, plug it into AI. And again, it's just going to give you so much information from you just kind of thinking out loud. Number 3, follow up and push back. AI lies. Not always, but it will. And so if you get insight that doesn't feel right, it's not sitting with you well, or you're like, that doesn't make any sense, follow up, push back, use it as a thought partner where you're like, well, wait, I don't understand why you would say this XYZ result, or that doesn't make sense, or show me your resources, or what research did you do to come up with this answer that you gave me? Like, explain to me why this is, you feel like it's your best work. All of those things are appropriate things that you can ask AI to then really refine your results and make sure that you're getting the best quality output. So the best insights, again, come from dialogue and treating it like a thought partner. And then use it for thinking, but not deciding. You always are going to hold the decision-making power for your own journey, for your own path. And so I want you to feel, more than anything, I want you to feel equipped to do that versus that you have to offload that to AI somehow. You don't. AI is there to help you get clarity, get understanding, have actual language to the things that you're thinking and want to put into words that you can then take out into the world. But you get to, you hold all decision-making power. And I want you to always feel empowered to hold on to that and not feel like it's taken out of your hands when you use AI. So AI is a thinking partner that truly is always available, never tired, never has an agenda. There have been many times where I've told AI, I'm going to bed, I'll talk to you about this tomorrow, and it'll have something to say. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. Good night. I will revisit this another day. Okay, so your AI prompt toolkit is the four prompts that we talked about, which is your culture diagnostic, your strengths discovery, your leadership presence audit, and your value articulation. And Isaiah, just one quick note. I'm so happy to email this to you, and if you want to share it with, email those 4 prompts to you, and then if you want to share it with the community, you can. And then a bonus that I have for you that I went through and developed an even more deluxe prompt for you. So these are like extra super prompts, if you will. I have a link to the bonus set of prompts. And these are for decisions. There's like a 90-day guide in there if you want to have that. And these are they're designed to be like supercharged prompts that maximize the value that you'll get out of them. Again, always end your prompts with ask clarifying questions. You're going to be like, this woman says ask clarifying questions a lot. Okay, so before we wrap up our time together, I would love to know if there's a chat, or if you're doing this, if you're watching this later, I hope that you just take some time to decide what one thing you're going to do differently in the next 7 days to start architecting that career path of your dreams that you're in charge of and you get to orchestrate. And maybe it's just using one prompt to get clarity, which is, I'm a huge fan of that. Noticing how you show up in your next meeting and noticing how you want to show up differently and giving yourself credit for how you do that. Naming one thing about your company culture that may not be working and using AI as a thought partner to better understand how you can facilitate positive change is really useful. And then update your LinkedIn headline if that's something that you want to do, or if that's something that's useful to you, then by all means, I'm excited to see that. Message me on LinkedIn and tell me you did so I can see it and celebrate with you. And then the truth about change is that you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And so you always want to make sure that your systems are in place and they are built to truly protect and facilitate the growth that you want to craft. So we want to have clarity about what we're looking for and what our dreams are. And then also we want to give ourselves an honest go at it by developing a path that leads us to the things that we want to facilitate, kind of like the default versus the dedicated. And so drop in your chat, if there's chat, I don't know, what one thing you want to do. And if we don't have chat for today, that's totally fine, but just write it down and commit to that to yourself. Promise that to yourself and let it be something that you work on to just facilitate and improve over the next 7 days. So that's my presentation for now. This is just a really important reminder for me and from Happy Teams is just that you are not broken. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. And I hope that our time together and just your immediate takeaways from our time together help you to craft that from whatever your starting point is today, whatever that looks like, that you have the opportunity to facilitate and grow into the path that you love. And I hope that you have really practical ways to do that. And so, my website is here, my email is here, and then I have one more slide, and that is resources for you. So I promised the free delegation toolkit, or I'm sorry, not the delegation toolkit. I promised the free AI prompt pack. And if you just scan that QR code, it's right there for you. It takes you right there. I think you just input your email and then you have a PDF that you can download and it's yours. Use however you want, as often as you want, pass it along to friends, however that works, it's yours. And then also I would love to share with you just the delegation toolkit. That's a course that is delivered by Happy Teams. And so it goes over 8 modules that talk specifically about your delegation style. If you're a current leader or you are entering a leadership opportunity, it gives you 8, it talks about your delegation style, how to best delegate. And I think that leadership is really important when it's done through your personality and your strengths, and the delegation toolkit allows you to do that. It's very interactive, very easy to work through. It's not, boring or painful. And there's actually an additional 40 AI prompts there to help craft your leadership journey. So that you can just do the QR code for that as well if you would like. And that is my time. That's all I've got today.
Thank you so much. This was a great presentation. This was amazing.
I'm so glad.
Yes. So we didn't get any Q&A, but again, everybody, I want you to reach out to the Happy Teams if for your organization you need any help, and reach out to Katrina if you just want to chat, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I'll be sure to send the resources out. I think you said you're going to email them over.
Yes, the 4 prompts, if you want those just like in an email, I can do that really soon. Okay. It's super easy. I'll just email it to you, and then if you want to distribute it, that's totally fine.
Oh, look, let me can I put you to work really quick? How about we start a little newsletter for that, so people go to your website and like sign up and say, hey, can I get the prompts? Like, that would be really cool.
Yeah. Yes, I actually, you know what I can do? This AI prompt pack is exactly what you're saying. So you scan that and then you put in your name and your email and it sends you that. So at that same link, I'll add another link add another like PDF that you can download with the 4 that we talked about today. So all you have to do is scan that QR code and it's right there.
Perfect. This again has been beautiful. I learned some things. And I want to say a point. I think any marketer would say it is so hard for us to do the things for ourselves that we do for our clients. Absolutely. And the same with career prep. So like preparing a client for something, green light. Ourselves, red light, right? So I hope that for everybody that's watching now and later, this was actually useful for you. And again, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me. And yeah, I had it was so much fun creating this for y'all and putting it together. And you can always find me on LinkedIn. I'm so happy to support you however I can. Yeah, because I love the power of community, and I want AMA and AMA, to have really collaborative, just beneficial communities. And so I'm always here to help, always here to be a friendly and encouraging face and voice in your life. So yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, beautiful people. We will catch y'all later.